Welcome to Swish and Flick, an all Potter podcast.
Swish and flick. Everyone? Swish and flick.
Hello and welcome to episode 7 of Swish and Flick. I'm Tiffany.
I'm Megan.
I'm Katie.
And I'm apparently Sarah.
We're gonna start out an episode with some news with our weekly prophet.
I'm changing my name.
Goodness.
I also just want to reiterate the importance of this episode number.
Yes.
Episode number 7. Lucky number 7.
Oh, that
was a terrible bell. Katie's in charge.
Yeah.
I don't know. I did a pretty bad
So it's super exciting. We're already on episode 7.
We all got matching 7 tattoos for this event.
That is not true.
I'm lying. I didn't get another one.
So the weekly prophet. I want to basically do a shout out to the contest that J.K. Rowling and Lumos are putting on right now, which I think is super important. So there was a live stream a couple weeks ago with Allison Sudol and Dan Fogler, who play Queenie and Jacob in Fantastic Beasts. And they spoke about this Lumos promotion that is going on in the U.S. And it's a special competition where you can win a trip to the Fantastic Beasts set. And you also get tickets to Levesden Studios to see the Harry Potter sets.
You get to meet the cast.
You get to meet the cast. Cool. Maybe JK will be there. I don't know.
Oh, man.
So anyway, it's really awesome.
Wouldn't you literally?
Yes.
I really
I hope not.
I mean,
I'd want to live to see
I
that.
would probably just start crying.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if anybody knows much about Lumos. Does anybody know about Lumos?
Yes, it's spelled to turn lights on. Like Lumos. Make light, not lights on, right?
It
Shoots from your wand.
What is magic?
I love magic.
It has to do with orphanages.
Yes.
So basically,
Like Harry was an orphan.
JK started this organization about orphanages, helping to get kids placed with families from all over the world. And I think it's really important because I was adopted, and I think that I just appreciate it, and I like that she did this. I mean, this is like her foundation that she started, so this is where most of her donation money has gone into that she's made. So I think that's cool.
She's money that has knocked down her status.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's amazing.
So anyway, there's like different levels that you can enter for this. It's called Crowd Rise. So if you just want to enter for a chance to win it, it's $12. All of the money that's being raised, 100% of the funds are going to the Lumos Foundation. But then also, if you donate, the more you donate, then there's other perks that you can get. So if you donate $24, you get 2 entries and a digital thank you from Dan Fogler and Allison Sudol, which is cool. I don't know if it'll like be personalized or anything. That'll probably be like way too much work, but it'll still be cool. And then there's another entry where you can win a special print by Mina Lima for Fantastic Beasts. There's another one that you can get a t-shirt. And then I know these are already sold out, but you could get a hardcover edition of Fantastic Beasts signed by J.K. Rowling.
That's pretty boss.
Yeah, there were only 10 available. They were $2,500, and they sold out within like a couple days.
Gosh, if I had that money, I would totally buy that.
Yeah, so it's a really good cause, and even if not for the awesome perks of the potential chance to win to go on the set, like this is a really awesome foundation, and if anybody can, I think that we should all go and donate a little bit. Yep. It's cool.
I kind of want to I think I want to go for the shirt.
I think I want to get the Fantastic Beasts print by Mina Lima. Anyway, this ends November 10th. So we have...
That's a little bit of...
Oh, wait, hold on. No, I lied. It ends September 20th.
Well, still a little bit of time. It is currently August 27th.
It is, but
and you won't hear this for like...
this episode will air in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So you'll have about another 2 weeks to enter.
We can also put it on our Facebook page.
Yeah, we can do that.
I will. So yeah, it's cool. So You guys
Tis.
should go and enter.
Tis.
Maybe you can meet Eddie Redmayne.
Oh my god. I
Oh
would die.
man.
That would be
so cool.
awesome.
I would want to meet Alison Sudol.
I
don't
want to
know
meet
who that is.
everyone.
Queenie. I love Queenie.
Yeah.
She's my favorite. Fantastic Beast character.
I like Pickett.
Yes. I also like Pickett. He's cute. I like the moon calves.
Yes, they're so cute.
I really like the lady that died. Just kidding.
What? the witch, the anti-witch lady?
I don't even know what I'm talking about.
The bare bones.
Sure.
Sarah's just being Sarah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, are we ready to jump right into this?
Wait, talk about how we have over 8,000 downloads
Yeah,
on Podbean.
I put a note.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we do. Actually, so
Probably by the time you hear this, it'll be way more than that.
yeah, but we just found out now as we were recording that we have 8,000 downloads, which is crazy. I think that we're going to maybe try and do something at 10,000. Maybe that'll be our koozie giveaway. When we
Maybe we'll sign a koozie.
Nobody wants that.
We're cool.
Why'd you deface this koozie?
So yeah, I think when we hit 10,000 downloads, we'll give away 5 koozies.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. So we'll figure out some way to
Yeah, how
get
you gonna
that
raffle
going.
that? Like, get people to just like be like, "Hey, I listened,"
Maybe.
or tell us a favorite part of the episode or something like
Yeah,
that.
We'll,
Yeah.
we'll think about it. We'll do it all on Facebook. So
Yeah, it'll be
make
all
sure
through
you
Facebook.
Are on our Facebook page, and we will come up with a little fun
True.
thing for you.
And 5 lucky listeners can win Swish and Flick koozies.
Like us,
cute.
follow us,
and they actually
rate
are
us.
really cute. I enjoy
They're
them.
adorbs.
They're great for holding your beer and any other can.
Other beverage.
Or a Coca-Cola.
Oh, do we get paid for that?
I wish.
Not sponsored. but Coke, if you're listening, we will accept that sponsorship.
Cola. A
Only-
cola soda.
Only if you send me Coca-Cola direct from Disney World.
Yes.
We were talking about this.
Oh, it's so good. Okay.
All right.
Moving on to things that pertain to Harry Potter.
He drinks Coke.
Maybe he does.
Does he? He probably does.
Question to the fans: does Harry Potter like Coke or Pepsi?
Ooh.
This is important.
Good
stuff.
question.
Are we
Coke or
talking
Pepsi?
fountain, canned, bottled?
What do you think?
Can I just say any way that Coke comes, I will drink it.
Do they have magic?
Except
pop?
out of someone else's mouth. 'Cause that's
No, well, I don't think that they do because whenever you're at the Wizarding World in Orlando, they do not sell pop anywhere in that area.
So what do you
can
drink?
only
Oh,
get
butterbeer?
or the specialty drinks or like apple juice, pear juice, pumpkin juice.
Can I get
iced
water?
tea,
It's Gilly water.
Gilly water, or lemonade.
Is Gilly water just plain
No,
high
it's
quality?
Gilly water.
Gilly water.
But is it
It's
H2O?
Gilly water.
Hey,
It's Gilly water.
did you know that it's Gilly water?
But
It's Gilly water.
but
It's water.
I'd like some high quality H2O, please.
I just love you.
This is why people think that you're from strange places.
Your
I
voice is
am
ever
from strange places. Have you met my parents?
You're very.
Shout out to Terry and Cheryl. What did you call them the one night? Terrell and Sherry?
Daryl and Sherry. I don't know.
I'm gonna say.
So
Isn't
yeah,
that from
does
the
Harry
Water Boy?
like Coke or Pepsi?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Someone tell.
Yeah,
someone
let
tell
us know. We want to know. Coke or Pepsi?
we'll do it. We should do a Twitter poll.
Hard hitting questions around here. Coke or Pepsi?
I was totally joking. You guys got so excited. I love that.
No, because
Love
it's
it.
such a good question.
Is it though?
I mean,
It
if
is. No, because it's like a dividing
we-
line. Like
can we do a lightning bolt round right now on Coke or Pepsi, everybody?
Yeah.
Coke.
I see him liking Coke.
No, for
Yourself.
yourself.
Oh, Pepsi.
Disney World Coke.
No.
Oh yeah, it depends on where you're
no,
getting
Coke
it.
or Pepsi.
Oh,
Coke
Disney
or Pepsi.
Coke.
Coke.
Because it's better. Has anyone ever seen the movie The Invention of Lying? I think that's what it's called with Ricky Gervais. And in it, no one
I
can
do like
lie.
Ricky.
And there's an advertising for Pepsi on the side of a bus, and it's like Pepsi for when you don't have Coke. I'm like, I've never seen anything truer in my life.
Never ever have you?
Never,
Okay.
ever, never, ever, ever, ever.
To the Harry of Potters.
So, last episode, we covered Chapter 6, The Journey from Platform 9 3/4. So we met the Weasley family. We learned a little history about Platform 9 3/4. Harry dealt with a little more of his celebrity status. We met Ron, Draco, Neville, and Hermione. Ron and Harry bonded over treats and hand-me-downs, and we explored Chocolate Frog cards. And we ended seeing Hogwarts for the first time. So now we're on to chapter 7, The Sorting Hat.
One of the coolest chapters ever.
That's because I wrote it.
You teamed up with Joe.
I'm secretly.
If you look on that page of the chapter, real small way at the bottom, it says also. It's written by Sarah.
Co-credit to Sarah.
Yeah. When did she write this? Before I was born?
No,
it came out.
You were born.
When did she start writing it? When was the first book written? Because it came out in 97, but I think she had it written long before then. But anyways,
Dear Google.
so someone's going to Google it while I start reading the summary. So Harry and all the first years walk into Hogwarts and are greeted by McGonagall. She welcomes the new students and tells them that before the feast, they must be sorted into the houses. She names each one: Ravenclaw, Hufflepuff, Gryffindor, and Slytherin, in order of my favorites.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Did that on purpose?
Nobody says it like that.
That's because Ravenclaw's the best, and there are a few Hufflepuffs that I like better than everyone else.
Oh.
She reminds them that their houses are like their family. Good things will get them house points, and bad things will make them get rid of points or lose points. That's what I was thinking. Lose points.
Sarah thinking?
Every
On this
episode,
edition.
either can't read or I don't know what I'm talking
Every
about.
summary,
Yeah.
you're like, I can't read.
I can't read.
Also, side note, it says here that J.K. Rowling's debut novel was written approximately between June of 1990 and sometime in 1995.
So
I was around, but I wasn't. I couldn't read till I was well into grade school. Not well into grade school, but I couldn't read until like the second grade. So God knows I couldn't write this book when I was 5.
I think we all know you did not help her wite the book. It's okay.
yeah, why are we even talking about this still?
Someone might be like, "Oh wow, Sarah's super cool," and I was like, "Yeah, I am." Thank you for noticing.
Moving on.
So okay, and at the end of the year feast, the house cup is awarded to the house with the most points. The first years discuss what they think will happen with the sorting. They're led into the great hall where the sorting ceremony starts. We hear the old sorting hat sing its song, and the ceremony commences in alphabetical order. McGonagall,
Very unlike the movies.
it bothers me. McGonagall puts the hat on the student's head, and it quote unquote tests you and tells you which house you're most suited for. Ron, Hermione, and Neville are all sorted into Gryffindor, and Draco is sorted into Slytherin. When the hat is placed on Harry's head, he and the hat go back and forth, and the hat keeps saying to Harry could be good in Slytherin. He also tells him he doesn't have a bad mind either, so he could be a Ravenclaw. But we all know that's not true because he didn't pick up a letter. So Harry is asking to be placed anywhere but Slytherin, and the hat calls out Gryffindor. Now that everyone is sorted and Dumbledore has given his speech, the feast can begin. We meet some of the ghosts of Hogwarts. Nearly Headless Nick, or Sir Nicholas, is the Gryffindor ghost. And after dinner, they go with their prefect, Percy Weasley. I don't know what I just did there. Who's doing that? Oh, I know.
You.
No, the whole thing's yellow.
I know, because I wrote a comment.
I know, I saw that. I literally said yesterday I spelled things wrong.
McGonagall's a hard name to...
I was also real tired and typing this in a car. So after dinner, they go with their prefect, which is Percy Weasley for the Gryffindors, to the Gryffindor common room, and they finally see their common room for their first time, and with their new rooms. Whoever, stop doing that. And they're going to see their new rooms for the for the next several months where they're going to be living.
Yep. Okay. So I kind of want to move into talking about like the structure of the castle and like houses and points. So Hogwarts is located in Scotland, which I feel like some people might overlook and they probably think it's like in England or something.
I agree.
But it's located in Scotland. Standing on a cliff. And the castle is large with many towers and turrets. And it said that the entrance hall is so large that the Dursley house could fit inside it. Think about that.
Oh, yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, that's a large entrance hall. So I think that's pretty cool. There's an underground harbor for boats to dock, stone walls with flaming torches, a ceiling too high to see it properly.
That's crazy.
That's awesome.
Like Burrow times 4 million. You know?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, exactly. There's a large marble staircase that leads into the Great Hall, and everything about the castle is flush with history and is magnificent. So I looked on Pottermore, and for Hogwarts, it says significant events, and it literally says, quote, 1 or 2 minor episodes from Harry Potter's life.
Oh my God.
Just a couple minor episodes.
Yeah, and
you
we-
know, defeating the Dark Lord, no big deal.
Right.
Whatever.
So a lot to do with the Dark Lord, a lot to do with, like the Yule Ball and the Triwizard Tournament, and then the Battle of Hogwarts. So Hogwarts is a pretty important place.
I would
it's
say
pretty cool there.
I would say as much as the Dursleys is his house and he has to go back because of the whole love stuff, whatever.
Yeah.
Hogwarts is his home. And
Yeah.
he even says it at the end. He's like, I'm not going home. Not really.
And Hogwarts is our home.
Yes. Seriously, that
Says Rowling.
It's
Not-
so
not
true.
mine.
Hogwarts is always there to welcome you home. I love that.
Yeah.
And then talking about house points, we discovered that house points houses will get points or they'll lose points based on triumphs and rule breaking. And the house cup is mentioned, and we discover that it's a great honor to win the house cup. And then I put in a link that I can't click on because I'm not savvy. Because there was like a...
Did you just hum Blue's
Clues.
Yeah.
Did I really?
Yes.
Didn't even,
That's what do
we
can
can't
do.
do. Oh my gosh! Well, what Sarah and I were singing
I was
Blue's Clues yesterday.
But that's because we do that, Tiffany.
I loved Blue's Clues.
You guys,
Blues Clues, Blues Clues. That's not how it goes, I don't think.
there's an info. There's like a
Nope.
graphic
That's a hard no.
on Pottermore.
Pottermore has a ton of amazing
Oh, yes.
infographics. Anybody who's a graphic designer, shout out to any graphic designers that are listening.
I'm one.
No, you're not. Me and Katie are graphic
am.
designers, and
Katie and I.
I said I'm a graphic designer, not an English major. So,
I don't have a college degree, and I know that. So.
these infographics are beautiful, and like you can really appreciate the detail of whoever designed these. They're amazing.
Yeah,
So check them
agreed.
out.
I am looking for it, and everything had to load. It's giving me subjects. Where is it? Can someone help me out here? Because I'm trying to find. It was like the house points, but when I put up house points, nothing would come up. So I'm at Hogwarts, subjects, castles. That's just an illustration.
A handy history of Hogwarts house points.
Where's that at?
Yeah, that's what I
I
have.
literally
That's what
copied
came
and
up from that
pasted
link.
it.
Oh, because I'm dumb.
The overall number of points given and taken broken down book by book.
Yeah.
Albus Dumbledore is the most generous with 570 house points. The least generous, who do you think that would be?
Snape.
Yep. Minus 287. Oh, the
But
biggest
at the same
reward.
time, I don't know if I can. Is this like just for Gryffindor, or overall all
This
year?
is, I think this
Why is
is
this
overall.
being so
This is
stupid?
per book.
because I feel like Snape overgives to Slytherin.
Sarah, you're like, never mind.
Did you get it?
I like kept trying to like copy it, and then Sarah had it highlighted in the Google Doc.
In Order of the Phoenix, Draco Malfoy
guys
is allowed
know.
to give and take away points as a prefect and a member of Umbridge's Inquisitorial Squad. And he takes points away from like Ernie Macmillan, Harry Potter, Hermione Granger.
What are you laughing at?
Inquisitorial.
Shout out to Squibs.
How do you pronounce it?
Inquisitorial.
What did I call it?
Inquisitorial.
Well,
So it's called A Handy History of Hogwarts House Points, and that's what I was trying to look up. But because I'm sometimes not good with technology, I couldn't
This
figure
is
out how to
really
copy
cool.
and paste my own link.
Yeah, it's really neat.
Yeah. So,
ooh,
did you discuss the biggest awards?
yeah.
Okay.
The total house points exchanged is 1,727. Total rewarded or awarded is 1,100, and total deducted is 627. And the Gryffindors are the one that get the most and get the most deducted. I almost
At
said
least
deduced.
that we hear in
Correct.
the book.
Yeah.
But this is also like what this is on Pottermore. So
Did you discuss the methodology?
no.
So at the bottom of it, it says points awarded and deducted for actions carried out by multiple students at the same time have been divided by the number of students involved and added to individual totals. Like this is like a legit doc.
Yeah, this is serious.
Yeah.
It's got the J.K. Rowling Wizarding World stamp seal of approval at the bottom.
Yeah. So this is like
Oh,
what?
I lost my little page.
Oh, and at the bottom it says, according to Ron Weasley, Professor Snape was always taking points off Fred and George. Find out everything the twins got up to in their very own Index of Mischief. I can't. That's going to be great.
Makes me proud.
Go boys. All right, so that's a little bit about
There's something in my cup.
the castle.
Something in my cup.
Is it?
I see.
The Grim.
What's the grin? Not the grin, you idiot. The Grim. It's one of the darkest omens in our world.
Moving on.
So next we're going to talk about the Great Hall and the Sorting Hat. And just like the sorting in general. So before we touch on the Sorting Hat, I thought that it would be important to talk about the Quill of Acceptance and the Book of Admittance.
Which I don't think people know about.
I don't.
It's very cool.
Sarah's
Very
face.
interested in this.
In a small locked tower, never visited by any student at Hogwarts, sits an ancient book that has not been touched by human hands since the 4 founders placed it there on completion of the castle. Beside the book, which is bound in peeling black dragon hide, stands a small silver ink pot, and from this protrudes a long faded quill. These are the Quill of Acceptance and the Book of Admittance, and they constitute the only process by which students are selected for Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. So, you know, whenever Hagrid comes to get Harry, he says, "Your name's been in the book since you were born."
Yep.
Oh.
He's talking about
My
this
God.
book.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my
And guys,
Sarah's mind is blown.
This article is on Pottermore, and it's really important, so I literally am going to read most of it, but I will post a link to it so that you can read it again if you want. Yeah. If anybody understands what powerful and long-lasting magic causes this book and quill to behave as they do, nobody has ever confessed to it. Doubtless because, as Albus Dumbledore once sighed, it saves the staff tedious explanations to parents who are furious that their children have not been selected for Hogwarts. The book and quill's decision is final, and no child has ever been admitted whose name has not been inscribed on the book's yellowing pages. At the precise moment that a child first exhibits signs of magic, the quill, which is believed to have been taken from an augury, I'm going to side note right here, an augury, I think that's how you say it, it's an Irish phoenix. It's a small greenish black bird that resembles a vulture and can emit a distinctive low cry.
Shout out to the Irish.
Yes.
What?
They are native to Britain and Ireland and have also been spotted throughout northern Europe. They make their nests in bramble and thorn, and they eat large insects and fairies.
What?
Poor fairies.
In the
Shout out
past,
to fairies. Pour one out.
I was just gonna say. Oh gosh.
so yeah, that is where the quill comes from.
That's boss.
Yes. And it floats up out of its ink pot and attempts to inscribe the name of that child upon the pages of the book. Augury feathers are known to repel ink, and the ink pot is empty. Nobody has ever managed to analyze precisely what the silvery fluid flowing from the enchanted quill is.
Interesting.
Silver.
Oh, my bad.
Is that unicorn blood silver?
It is.
That would be terrifying.
Maybe it's unicorn blood.
But you can't slay something that pure. And I have.
What if they naturally die? You use them for it.
What's that?
What if they die naturally?
Oh, maybe.
I'm just
Those-
saying.
Those few who have observed this process, several headmasters and headmistresses have enjoyed spending quiet hours in the Book and Quill's tower hoping to catch them in action, agree that the quill might be judged more lenient than the book. A mere whiff of magic suffices for the quill. The book, however, will often snap shut, refusing to be written upon until it receives sufficiently dramatic evidence of magical ability. Thus, the very moment that Neville Longbottom was born, the quill attempted to write his name and was refused by the book, which snapped shut. Even the midwife who attended Alice Longbottom had failed to notice that Neville managed to shift his blankets more snugly over himself moments after birth, assuming that his father had tucked the baby in more securely. Neville's family persistently missed faint signs of magic in him, and not until he was 8 years old did either his disappointed great aunts and uncles or the old stickler of a book accept that he was truly a wizard when he survived a fall that should have killed him.
Good
God, that's
gosh.
crazy.
Isn't it really cool?
You guys,
I love this.
I love Pottermore.
There's one more little section.
Okay,
It says,
go.
in fact, the book's sternness has a purpose. Its track record in keeping squibs out of Hogwarts is perfect.
Womp womp. Poor squibs.
Do it, Sarah.
I don't know what I said.
Shout out to Squibs.
Shout out to squibs.
Non-magic children born to witches and wizards occasionally have some small residual aura of magic about them due to their parents, but once their parents' magic has worn off of them, it becomes clear that they will never have the ability to perform spells. The Quill's sensitivity, coupled with the book's implacability, have never yet made a mistake.
Dude.
I have never heard of that before.
I was searching for it, and as we were coming up with the doc,
Crazy.
I put it in there because I knew that Megan was going to touch on this subject, and I found it, and I was like, we have to talk about
That's
this.
incredible.
Like, it's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's so cool.
All hail Joe.
So good. And I didn't even know that.
It's so
it's
cool.
so good.
Again, I have chills.
They're multiplying.
I was about to say it. Are you losing control?
Yes.
So
Power.
now on to the
Sounds
Sorting Hats
electrifying.
song.
So turn up your headphones and get ready for
Me.
some wonderful lyrics.
I'm gonna die laughing.
Well, then pull away from your
I
mic.
did.
This is Megan's shining moment. Don't screw it up. So much pressure.
Oh, you may not think I'm pretty, but don't judge on what you see. I'll eat myself if you can find a smarter hat than me. You can keep your bowlers black, your top hats sleek and tall, for I'm the Hogwarts sorting hat, and I can cap them all. There's nothing hidden in your head the sorting hat can't see, so try me on, and I will tell you where you ought to be. You might belong in Gryffindor, where dwell the brave at heart. Their daring, nerve, and chivalry set Gryffindors apart. You might belong in Hufflepuff, where they are just and loyal. Those patient Hufflepuffs are true and unafraid of toil. Or yet in wise old Ravenclaw, if you've a ready mind, where those of wit and learning will always find their kind. Or perhaps in Slytherin, you'll make your real friends. Those cunning folk use any means to achieve their ends. So put me on, don't be afraid, and don't get in a flap. You're in safe hands, though I have none, for I'm a thinking cap.
Well done. Well done.
I did not mess up.
You did
once.
not mess up once, and I thought that was spot on.
excellent.
By the way, you can't see us when she was reading our houses. We were being obnoxious, and by we I mean mostly me.
And it didn't deter Meg at all.
No,
Yeah,
I-
no,
was excellent.
we were
I
being
blocked
idiots.
you all out.
I'm never obnoxious.
That was bloody brilliant.
Bloody Merlin.
I think that it's cool to touch on. This is the first time, obviously, that we hear the Sorting Hat sing, but it is not the last time.
Ooh.
And you can tell that this song is very lighthearted compared to what we hear in later books.
Extremely.
Extremely. So this is basically just an introduction, which is perfect for the first movie, and I mean the first book and first movie, but you don't hear this in the movie, unfortunately. So it's really neat that you actually, it's a cool way for Joe to integrate what the houses are, what each house sets it apart from the others, without it being like a really boring way to learn that information.
Yeah, specific traits touched on.
And I will say, as much as, because at the beginning, when you see, when they're talking about when Harry first hears about the houses with Draco, and you kind of hear like Hufflepuff in a bad way, where this
Yeah.
one is like, says
Yeah.
great
Yeah.
things about each one, and so it's like,
She
kind of
redeems
redeeming, like,
it.
yes.
A
Yeah.
little, yeah.
Yep.
Still not as good as Ravenclaw.
Oh my gosh.
That's the best house.
This new voice of Sarah's
I
came
don't
on
know
like this
what it-
weekend. I
what
don't
it
know what
is.
happened.
It's coming out. Ooh. My voice wants the world to know. It's gonna let the world know. I don't know the words.
I was thinking it sounded something similar to "It's a baby."
It's a baby, Jingle. It's a baby, Jingle.
What movie is that from?
It is from.
No.
no,
it's
the Santa
not.
Claus. is
Oh
coming to
wow,
town.
she's got.
Is it Santa Claus is coming to town?
I think so.
That's the one with Chris Kringle and the
yes.
Burgermeister Meisterburger.
Yeah, that's Santa Claus.
I love that movie. It is not my favorite Christmas movie, but it's one of my favorites. I'm the Burgermeister Meisterburger.
Okay, back to Potter.
Yes.
So after the song, we get to go into the next part of the feast every year.
So all the kids are sitting now, and Dumbledore stands up. He's got this speech, keeps it short and sweet to the point. He says, "Welcome, we're going to have a feast, nitwit, blubber, oddmet, tweak." And that's it. And then he sits down.
And the food appears.
And the food appears.
Why a bell?
Why not the
Dumbledore deserves a bell for that
does.
speech.
So this is Harry's first time witnessing magic to this scale also, and at the castle. All of this food just magically appears in front of him. And I thought it would be cool if we listed literally everything that was on the table, because I love food. There's roast beef, roast chicken, pork chops, and lamb chops.
Oh, lamb.
Sausages, Sarah. Bacon and steak, boiled potatoes, roast potatoes, fries, Yorkshire pudding.
Not fries, chips. I know that they changed
Oh,
that for
yeah,
our book,
my bad.
but in the Philosopher's Stone it says chips.
Yeah, because chips are fries.
I know.
And
Peas.
crisps are chips. And what are cookies? Biscuits.
Yes.
Are they sticky biscuits?
I have a biscuit,
Some of them
Potter.
are. Little side note, if you ever have a digestive biscuit from like
They're
the
so
UK or
good.
Ireland, but you have to get the ones with chocolate. Not that the
Yes.
other ones
A
aren't
what
as good.
biscuit?
Hobnob.
Digestive biscuits.
Digestive.
Digestives. They are
so
supposed. There's
good.
something in there I think that's supposed to actually help
I
your
think they're
digestive
fiber.
system.
There's fiber
But they're
in them.
so good, and they're 1,000 times better when you have them fresh over there. Like every time I go to Ireland, I'm like, I need some of my
They're called
McVitie's.
hobnobs, right?
No, they're digestive
Hobnobs are
biscuits.
different.
Correct.
I think.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway.
I only get McVitie's digestives.
I
Not
just-
sponsored, but if you want to send me some, I will eat them and my family will enjoy them.
I get McVitie's at the Epcot Pavilion. At
you can get them
Disney.
at World Market.
I know,
they're
but like
just
whenever
not
we go
as
there,
good.
I always go
I mean, they're
into.
still good, but it's like there's like something about when you're in Ireland I've never been to England, but I'd love to go. You get a digestive biscuit; it's delicious.
I always go into the pavilion, the UK pavilion at Epcot, and we buy those as our like snack to eat around the world.
I always talk about food in every episode,
and I
'Cause
always
food is
talk
the
about
best.
Disney.
but also I'm not allowed to eat sausage
Universal.
anymore. I'm only allowed to have bacon.
What do I
Remember?
talk about?
They don't live. They don't
Harry
even serve it
Potter,
to
like
me
we're supposed to.
Oh gosh! All right.
So picking up
anymore. Going back to the food.
peas, carrots, gravy, ketchup, and for some strange reason, peppermint humbugs.
You gotta have a mint.
Harry did not. He helped himself to some of everything except the peppermint humbugs.
I
Yes,
have a
sir.
question. I wonder because they don't really. Well, first of all, their ketchup, at least in Ireland, is not anything like America's ketchup. Like, I wonder if they changed it. Like, did they have ketchup in the Philosopher's Stone book?
I don't know.
No.
Because I don't know how much
I
ketchup.
don't own
is
a
like
Philosopher's
thing
Stone
there.
book. I only have
I own a
Sorcerer's.
Philosopher's Stone book.
Well,
Read
here's
it
your
and
homework.
Tell us. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm just curious because it's not like a big thing over there. I don't
Let's
think.
look it up.
I'll find out.
I'm plugging so much.
Maybe some of our UK listeners.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
we
what's
do
up?
have
Do
a
you
few
eat
in the UK. Oh gosh! All right,
Don't think that we're really annoying Americans. I swear.
We're
Yeah.
really just curious.
not that bad.
to the desserts.
Desserts, blocks of ice cream in every flavor you could think of. Apple pies, treacle tarts, chocolate eclairs, jam donuts, trifle, strawberries, jello, and rice pudding.
Jello. That's so
I know,
random. I think
Jell-O.
that's really random.
So I thought it was important to point
90s
out.
food.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Yeah.
I hope there's pudding. It's Luna.
There always is.
Yeah.
I thought it was important to point out that the book states that the Dursleys had never exactly starved Harry, but he had never been allowed to eat as much as he liked. And Dudley had always taken anything that Harry really wanted, even if it made him sick.
God.
Yeah. So while they're sitting at the table eating this amazing feast, we hear about Half-Bloods for the first time with Seamus Finnegan. We find out how Neville showed magic when he was little. The poor thing was dropped out of a window. And then Dumbledore stands up for his end of feast speech, which is a little bit longer than the other one. And he warns all the students about the Forbidden Forest, and we hear for the first time about the forbidden right-hand side of the third floor corridor, and you should stay out of there because you don't want to die a very painful death.
Which
Which Harry laughs
Harry
at.
Harry
but-
doesn't listen to.
Right.
Spoiler alert: Harry doesn't die, but Quirrell does. He dies a very painful death. It seems.
At the hands of Harry.
Literally.
Which my husband always points out. He's like, Do we just look over the fact that like Harry murdered someone?
Yes.
Not only that, but why couldn't he see Thestrals after that?
Maybe it wasn't meaningful for him because he didn't care. Maybe he was so frightened because like it's like me or him kind of thing.
Well, doesn't
and
it have to affect you like in an emotional kind
yeah,
of way?
maybe he literally was like,
don't
whatever.
know.
Or maybe he didn't even know what happened. Maybe he just was like, maybe he's not dead. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Joe, can you please
Dear
tell
Joe.
us? Call me. You have my
We're
number.
going to have a section like Dear Abby, but it's going to be
Dear
Dear
Joe.
Joe.
Please answer us.
Good question though. That's a real good question.
Yeah.
Does anybody know the answer to that?
Yeah. What do you guys think?
Has anybody like read that anywhere or heard anything
Yeah.
about it? Why he? Because I know that like it's been answered as to why he couldn't see them after witnessing technically Lily's death
Right.
because he was so young.
Right.
But he really did witness Coral's death, so that
He,
confuses me.
Yeah.
And I
Partially
honestly
because-
never thought of that until right now.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing to
So,
think about. Yeah.
Same. Does that make me a bad Potter person?
I don't
No.
think so. But this is the whole point of rereading.
Truth.
Is you get new things.
You get new things.
Get new things. All right. So now
They're
we're going to
doing
talk
boxing.
about. Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Are
you
you
just missed
hanging
what
on
I
the
said.
edge of your seat?
No, I heard.
All right.
All right,
moving
so-
on.
Funny.
We're going to start talking about Neville Longbottom, and he's kind of like Harry 5 steps back if you think about it.
What?
I'm going to explain.
Okay.
So his birthday is July 30th, 1980. He's just one day older than Harry Potter. He could have been the chosen one, but really the only reason he isn't is because Voldemort chose Harry over Neville. So like this whole thing could have been different had he chosen Neville. His first wand was inherited from his father, and his second wand is 13 inches, cherry, unicorn hair. And it's like, I wonder why, like, did he have his father's wand? Like,
Yeah, it's
why
not
didn't
like
his
they-
grandmother get his own wand, like, when he started school? And, like, and I wonder, also, if you inherit a wand, does it work the same? Like, does it work, like, when you are winning a wand? And it's another thing to think, like, would he have been more successful in school had he had his own wand?
I was gonna say, I mean, it's not like they didn't have the money to get him his own wand, but I feel almost as if possibly his grandmother gave him his father's wand in the hopes that it would make him better because his dad was such a good wizard and she didn't have any confidence in Neville.
But you would think
Well,
the
she's
wand
very
chooses you.
naive. I think that Neville's grandma's
I think she's
naive.
kind of mean. Go on.
She is.
Well, going to whether you think like when wands switch allegiance, I think wands that are kind of passed down can't really switch allegiance fully because they are not one.
Yeah.
So that's why we see Ron struggling. That's why we see Neville
Yeah.
struggling. And so I was thinking when Megan, you said they could afford a wand, and I thought, well, do we really know that? And then I thought, well, she bought him a Remembrall, why wouldn't she be able to buy him a wand? So I do think you're right that they did have the means to purchase a wand. And then I also,
his parents were successful aurors, which is probably a very well-paying job.
yeah.
So
And then I also thought, like, what's the cost to keep him at St. Mungo's? So,
yeah.
but she bought the Remembrall, so and that's kind of not a thing that's necessarily needed. But I was also thinking, like, passing down these wands, at least in Neville's situation, maybe it was like, this is your dad's wand. Like,
Yeah.
it's really important. But then you're like,
Sentimental.
come on, it's the Wizarding World. Wand chooses
Yes.
a wizard. Get him a wand.
Well-
You're setting him up for failure.
And I wonder if she was just like, why bother getting him a new wand when he's
You're
gonna
right.
be, like, he's not good now. He's not showing magic. He didn't show magic
You're right.
really until he was 8.
that
Yeah.
she's kind of not very nice.
Yeah.
I think she kind of suppresses Neville too.
I agree.
Yes.
She probably
doesn't
could have,
really
when you're
encourage
putting
him.
them down.
And again,
Yeah.
you see, she might be like, well, you see your little friend Harry doing all these things. Like, why can't you be like him? And I don't know. I'm just speculating because you don't know their relationship. But you see, there was a good article on Pottermore talking about like there's like six times that Neville is like braver than Harry or something like that. And you see, like Harry has these close group of friends. He's got Ron and Hermione where Neville's with them, but he's not really with them. And Harry sees, you see Harry get personally like tutored essentially like with Remus, takes him aside and like teaches him how to do the Patronus charm and like takes him aside and like talks to him and kind of mentors him a little bit. And Dumbledore is the same thing. And as far as we know, no one's ever done that with Neville except for Professor Sprout because like he's good at herbology.
Yeah. Does Neville hang out with Seamus? I
don't
feel
know.
like that might be a movieism for
I
me.
think Seamus and Dean are friends.
Seamus and Dean.
I mean, I think they're all
Seamus and
friends,
Dean
but I don't know.
Yeah.
Like in the article, it even said like, yes, Neville considers like Harry, Ron, and Hermione like his best friends.
But they're like not really best friends, and
Correct.
that's sad. Oi.
So he was sorted into Gryffindor, even though he. There's also in the article with the hat stalls, he asked and asked and asked to be in Hufflepuff, probably because he, growing up, like they all thought he was a squib.
Did we ever define hat stall for people?
I think we did.
Did we? So a hat stall is where the sorting hat is deciding between two houses.
I think-
and it takes a long time.
They say like 5 minutes in the article. They're like
5 minutes
for
or more?
A true hat stall, it has to be 5 minutes or more. Which is a true hat stall is McGonagall is a true hat stall, and
Yes.
so was Peter Pettigrew.
And then
And then they
Harry.
say Harry. Well, they say kind of because they wasn't a full 5 minutes, but it's basically like Harry. I think
was the
Hermione
time?
and Neville.
I was going to
didn't say in the
say
article.
Oh,
that
okay.
I believe technically a hat stall is when the person actually has to choose between the two houses.
That's not what the article said.
What are we
I
looking
thought
at?
that that's what it
I don't
said.
think so.
Oh, hat stall is a full-on article. Okay.
Yeah.
It's short. Do you want me to read
is
it?
very short.
Yeah.
An archaic Hogwarts term for any new student whose sorting takes longer than 5 minutes. This is an exceptionally long time for the sorting hat to deliberate and occurs rarely, perhaps once every 50 years. Of Harry Potter's contemporaries, Hermione Granger and Neville Longbottom came the closest to being hat stalls, so they were not hat stalls.
Correct.
The sorting hat spent nearly 4 minutes trying to decide whether it should place Hermione in Ravenclaw or Gryffindor. In Neville's case, the hat was determined to place him in Gryffindor. Neville, intimidated by that house's reputation for bravery, requested a placing in Hufflepuff. Their silent wrangling resulted in a triumph for the hat. The only true hat stalls known personally to Harry Potter were Minerva McGonagall and Peter Pettigrew. The former caused the hat to agonize for 5.5 minutes as to whether Minerva ought to go to Ravenclaw or Gryffindor. The latter was placed in Gryffindor after a long deliberation between that house and Slytherin. Bad choice, hat. The sorting. Oh, hold
no,
on.
that's talking about Peter Pettigrew.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Bad on putting him in Gryffindor.
Hey,
I love you, Megan.
wait, finish
I-
it.
Hold on, let me finish it.
Yeah.
The sorting hat, which is infamously stubborn, still refuses to accept that its decision in the case of the latter may have been erroneous, citing the manner in which Pettigrew died as dubious evidence.
I know that we're not talking about Peter, but I
Yes.
strongly disagree with your assessment.
How so?
I like that he was put in Gryffindor because it shows that
No one's
good
perfect.
and bad can come out of
You're right.
anywhere.
Yes.
And also, he really, I mean, as much as you don't want to believe it potentially, he really was brave in the sense that bravery doesn't necessarily mean you're brave in a good way.
Yes.
So
I think I know
he
where
was
you're going.
he was brave to go and collect Voldemort's wand.
Yes.
He was brave to hide it. He was
Yes.
brave to
Go
live
against all
with
his
the
friends.
Weasleys and
Yeah.
live with the Weasleys, knowing and continuing to stay there, knowing that he was next to Harry Potter all the time, knowing that he wanted to go back to Voldemort. He's brave that he went back to find Voldemort. I mean,
I agree.
I don't like him.
No, yeah. well, I
But-
mean, can I counter that with something?
Yeah.
Because I completely agree with you. And how Dumbledore says we might sort too soon. I think his traits in later life are more so the traits of a Slytherin.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Does
like, later
anybody
on
go
in
with
life
that?
when he's done with school, so you can't change that now.
I know, that's why they say you sort too soon.
It's also, I mean, it's real hard with Gryffindor.
Well, and that's why
Slytherin
he's a
because
Hastall.
They really are similar.
And you
honestly.
think-
ambition and bravery can go hand in hand.
I agree.
And that's why, I mean, I'm going to say this, that I've taken the quiz a couple times and I've gone back and forth between Slytherin and Gryffindor. I just feel I identify with Slytherin more.
Yeah.
And I think it's because the traits between the two houses are very close.
Yeah.
So the fact that he was a hat stall between those two houses isn't surprising because was he ambitious to go find Voldemort or was he brave? It's kind of.
I mean, both.
It's up in the air. It could
Yeah.
be either.
I agree.
I think you could say it's both. Like, it's ambitious. I mean, he wants to probably get closer and be like Voldemort's right-hand guy, no pun intended, or whatever hand he cut off. And
love
I mean,
you.
it's brave of him. Again, bravery doesn't necessarily mean a good thing. It's brave of him to go against all these people he was best friends with for years.
You're right.
And do all of these things.
So did he choose Gryffindor then?
No, the hat.
The hat.
I guess the hat always chooses. I was wrong in that assessment.
Because even if it did,
Well,
if it put you
then,
where
so
it
is
wanted-
Harry the exception?
I think. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but again, he, like you were saying, and you could talk about this too, that Slytherin
They're similar.
and Gryffindor are similar. So
Yeah.
as much as he's like, yeah, you'd be great in Slytherin, you'd be great in Ravenclaw, he probably would be a great Hufflepuff. He would have been good in any house. And honestly, you can kind of
I
say
don't
that.
see him being a Hufflepuff at all.
Okay, well,
He's loyal.
some people like Hufflepuffs, Tiffany.
He's very loyal and
I just hate him, you guys. I'm sorry.
Who, Harry?
I don't want him in my house.
Oh, you're talking about, I'm talking about
Peter.
Harry.
Oh, I'm talking about Peter.
oh no.
What's happening?
No, I said because you can talk about Harry being
Oh.
like picking his.
I missed that.
Yes.
Sorry.
All right, so going back to Neville.
Yeah,
Longbottom.
go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we got way off topic.
Whoa.
there, but-
So he was sorted into Gryffindor after asking the hat. I almost said asking the house to put him in Hufflepuff.
The hut.
His parents were also Gryffindors. You find out that they were tortured by the Cruciatus curse by Bellatrix Lestrange, and they're at St. Mungo's. Yeah. Okay. He was raised by his grandmother. His family thought he was a squib because he hadn't shown magic for a long time. So his great uncle threw him out the window to see if magic saved him. And luckily for both Neville and his uncle, he bounced. So like, what would have happened had he not bounced and he died?
That's what I'm saying. Like, why?
Like, would his uncle have felt bad and been like, well, one less squib in the world?
I actually think it was a total accident. He was hanging him out the window, and he got distracted by something and dropped him. I don't
was
think he
an
purposefully
accident.
threw him out there. But still, how would he
was an
still feel?
accident.
Right.
Like, you killed
Still,
you
you're
killed
still
him,
hanging
dude.
this child out of a window. What is wrong with
It's a
you?
very Michael Jackson moment.
Yeah.
Is it not?
Yeah.
And
Did
then
he have
I-
a blanket over him?
Oh my God. And then I said, people don't give him a lot of credit for being as brave as he is, because not only do you see him in the first book, he stands up to Malfoy and he literally tells him, because Ron, Harry, and Hermione, like, you need to stand up to him and tell him, like, you're much better of a wizard than he is. And he says it to Malfoy, who's a huge bully for him.
That was an awesome moment.
And then, you see in the third book when he sees the Boggart for the first time, it turns into Snape. And so you see his greatest fear is Professor Snape, and he sees him every single day.
Yeah.
And he stands up to that. Like, that's bravery. Like,
Yeah.
That is.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And he defeats Nagini.
I think Neville is the perfect Gryffindor.
I love him. Oh, also, fun fact of life. Hottest thing to come out of Hogwarts. Yes.
Can we also talk about how Matthew Lewis lives in Orlando now?
Maybe
Can you
we'll
talk
see him.
about who he's with, please? Because I don't know if people know this.
My gosh. Okay, so this is like the coolest story ever. Matthew Lewis, a couple years back, did the celebration of Harry Potter at Universal, which is like the weekend-long celebration that they do every year, where they have stars from the films and like this special they have special panels, they have the graphic designers. It's awesome. If anybody ever has a chance to go. Me and Katie have gone every single year since it's happened, and it is like our favorite weekend of
4
the year.
years running.
Yeah.
Are you going this year too?
I don't think that we can.
What? You're gonna break a streak? Yeah, you're
I
doing
know.
too many cool things this year, though.
Yeah.
Take a break.
It'll be okay, but
Maybe we'll go.
no.
Oh, now we're gonna do it. No, just kidding. I probably can't. Oh,
I would cry. Okay, but anyway. So Matthew Lewis comes and does the celebration of Harry Potter weekend, and he meets this girl who works for Universal Studios as like customer experience, basically. She's not like anybody who like works a ride or what. She's like behind the scenes type person. And they start dating and they're engaged.
they're
and
like
then,
living the dream.
Yeah.
That's like every
Literally.
like super
and
fan's
she
dream.
was like a massive Harry Potter fan. She was helping to run the celebration weekend, and then she gets engaged to Matthew Lewis. So now he lives in Orlando, and like I guess people randomly see him in the parks, and like he was at Volcano Bay one day just chilling, and
So he's not on the schedule for MuggleNet Live,
he's not.
but
I could see him showing up.
I could see him popping up.
Hopefully, if he's not filming.
That would be cool.
What's
I
he
don't know
filming
what-
right now?
I don't know.
He does a lot of projects now.
He's on a couple. I think think a couple shows that film in England.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, he's very back and forth, but I know that he owns a house in Orlando now.
That's pretty awesome. So you guys,
Shout out to the lucky girl from Universal that gets to marry Neville Longbottom.
if you're single
The hottest thing to come out of Hogwarts.
and ready to mingle,
Call me.
I think you have a Hufflepuff with your name on it. But
Okay. Could be.
moving on. Is that all on Mr. Longbottom, or do we have more to add about him?
I can't wait for this to come out. It's going to be hilarious.
All right. So, moving on to Harry's scar. So, I can't remember who brought this up. I think it was Sarah.
Yeah, I talked about a scar.
Sarah said,
A lot of things.
well,
I'm sorry.
We all know that that's true. Could Snape have been hoping that Harry would look like Lily?
Probably. Because he hates
that would be
James.
so creepy, though.
But I still love that story where, like, he goes to the Weasleys and he's there. Or there's counting. He's like, wait. There's another one. Like,
if he looked like
there's another
Lily?
one. Yeah,
If
he looked
Harry
like
had
Lily.
red hair.
It's like there's too many boys here.
Yeah.
I don't see it as creepy. I mean, if you think of it too deep, it's creepy. But just, I
mean,
think
everything
any reminder of Lily would be great to Snape, even if it's, her child with someone else, just because he really loves her.
I will say, rewatch. So, unpopular opinion. I have probably only seen like the last movie twice because it makes me cry. So it was on, and I was watching it, and I was watching like Harry see Snape's memories like through is it Pensieve? Is that how you pronounce
Pensieve.
it? And I like. I'm not the biggest Snape fan, but I was getting so emotional
Yeah.
watching it because like you see it all again, and like it kind of refreshes your memory, being like, yeah, like he loved her so much and he hated James, but he's like, we need to do something. Like we can't let her die. We can't let her child die.
Yeah. Whether you like him or not, the story is tragic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The whole thing is tragic.
Yeah.
There's so many things I could say. Tragic
I
should be
know.
a taboo word.
I know my opinion on Snape is also probably unpopular. I'm really just not a fan of him.
I don't like him either.
Yeah, I don't think
unpopular.
that's necessarily unpopular.
I don't know. A lot of people like
Okay,
they're
lightning
all
bolt it.
about the always and Snape and Lily.
Lightning
and they
bolt
think
it.
It's the greatest love story. I don't like it.
What's your greatest love story?
And it's not
Hermione and Severus.
My greatest love
Hermione.
story
This is the greatest love story. Me and Meg.
Martin.
Maddie.
That's how I yell his name at the house, and he ignores me.
As he should.
But no, let's lightning bolt this. Like, do you like Snape?
no.
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 No,
I guess it's not unpopular, but I think a lot
not
of
at
people,
not at this table.
right.
But you can.
A lot
see-
of people do consider that like the best love story.
But you can appreciate his story,
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And there's no denying it's tragic.
A little.
But I can
Right.
say a whole lot about it.
and we will in the
do.
Great Snape debate discussion.
The
We
Great
could
Snape
discuss it on Felix Files.
The Felix Files.
Felix Files.
Hey, hey, hey.
I think that Snape brought that situation on himself. So that's
he
why
did.
I almost don't feel bad about his situation because
When you're
it's
throwing out
his fault,
mudblood,
but-
you know.
Exactly. That's why
Also-
it's I mean, but we can discuss this in depth
Yeah,
in
no,
another
yeah, we-
episode
we-
because it'll be a lot.
Yeah.
Joe also says, J.K. wrote, I think on Pottermore somewhere, that had he not essentially been him saying like mudblood and all that stuff, that Lily could have actually loved him, like romantically loved him.
Really?
Yes.
Ah.
Well,
I know she says it. I know she says it, but like I get more of a friend feel.
yeah, but that's how friendship turns into love, Tiffany.
Does it?
I don't know.
Why don't you
Find
tell
out.
me?
Stay tuned.
Who are we talking about?
Snape
Lily and
and
Snape.
Lily.
Oh.
We know how you feel about it. All right, moving on. Harry's scar. It hurts for the first time, and it hurts throughout the series when Voldemort is near or feeling a particularly strong emotion. You know, whether that's happiness or anger, he feels it all. We really see that in 5. But
It's like scary in 5. I
Yeah.
just finished rereading 5 and it's like that whole concept is just
yeah. Well, once you hit the end of 4, it gets real dark real fast.
Yeah.
And people always like to say, like, no, they're children's novels. Well, not
maybe
really.
the first
To a point.
2,
Yeah.
3.
So if you're reading it with a young child, you might want to slow down. But I believe that Harry's scar hurts because Quirrell was there and
He turns.
He
around.
turned.
He's looking at his back, right?
right, and because here, and I'll get into that in just a second. And Quirrell, as we know now, was being used as a temporary Horcrux for Voldemort. And it says, quote, "The hook-nosed teacher looked past Quirrell's turban straight into Harry's eyes, and a sharp, hot pain shot across the scar on Harry's forehead." So that means that Quirrell had his back to Harry, and the part where Voldemort's face was, do you think that Voldemort saw Harry and felt anger or hate, and that's why his scar hurt, because it was a particularly strong emotion? Or do you think it was just... And it is a coincidence that Harry's scar hurt right when Snape looked at him. So it all kind of timed with the perfect timing. But do you think that that's what happened? Voldemort saw him. Do you think that he could see through the turban or whatever and felt like, there's Harry Potter, I hate him?
At this particular moment in time, I don't think scary. I don't think that Harry's scar hurt because of emotion.
Okay.
I think it was the physical presence of Voldemort being there with him.
And do you think it was because it was turned towards him?
Yes.
Because he's around him and it doesn't always hurt. So that's why I was thinking it might have been a surge of an emotion. Do you know what I mean? Because he's in his presence a lot.
Right.
So that's why I was kind of like, I was wondering what you guys thought about it.
Maybe when he's like in class, Voldemort's napping because he takes a long time in the evening
also-
to plot against Harry and to get his
What
body
if he
back.
started snoring in the back?
I don't know. I
God.
do think that it correlates with the way that Quirrell is facing. I think it has to do with the fact that Voldemort's face was facing Harry, and that's why he felt that. That's just my. I don't know if he saw him because it's not like he's got like Mad Eye Moody's crazy eye.
Are you going to say what I'm going to say?
I don't know.
Go.
But I was thinking maybe on a serious note, not napping, but maybe it takes a lot of, I know, I'm not kidding. Maybe it takes a lot of energy for Voldemort to like be 100% present. Like I know he's there and everything,
Right.
but maybe
No, that's
he's not
true.
always like aware of like his surroundings because it takes a lot of energy to be in Quirrell. Like maybe that's just something like he's not always
Got you.
like 100% Voldemort.
Are you sure?
No.
You can go.
I was just wondering if it was a Horcrux recognizing another Horcrux.
That's what I was gonna say.
My God.
See, Katie?
And that would elicit a strong emotion.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Even
Because
if he
this is
is
the first
feeling,
time.
even if Voldemort's weak and he can't like see, he would. I think that connection. Although Harry's in there for longer than that moment, they've eaten this whole feast, or they've been there. He's been sorted. I don't
But
know.
again, I think that the direction does play a role.
Yeah.
I agree.
And we don't know any other instances of two Horcrux being in same proximity
room.
that are this from the same soul.
Yes. True.
I wonder
The
if
diary.
Yeah, but that could like connects with him too emotionally.
True. Okay.
But I wonder if there's always some type of pain, like not pain, but like maybe like when every time he sees him, he's like, oh, my head kind of hurts, but not enough to be like, oh my God, it hurts. You know what I mean? That he just gets
Yeah.
used to it.
Could.
It's just a thought.
That's all right.
That's just a lot.
That's all I got. That's all I
Moving on
got. That was a good discussion on that.
See, this is why I love doing this. You're doing a reread, and we start talking about stuff, and then you smack your hands on the chair because it just gets crazy. And, oh my God, I never thought of that.
Exactly.
We have something fun coming up next.
We do have
we?
something fun.
Yeah.
Is it my face?
All right. Once again, turn
And-
up your headphones.
Oh, are we all gonna
And
sing it?
We can.
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
We should.
But I don't know if anybody knows this.
I don't know
but
the rest of-
There is a deleted scene
Yes.
in Goblet of Fire where they sing the Hogwarts school song. Just a little part of it. But next, after the feast and everything, then we go to the Hogwarts school song. So
I only know the beginning. Of
yeah,
the song.
same thing. I'm trying to think in my head how this
you
could
you know
go.
what? I will say that we did. I may have snabbed a little recording of us singing it earlier before we started recording.
Okay.
So
I can't wait to hear this.
Whether we be
Just let her go.
with scabies.
Fucking go. You know what I mean?
Hogwarts, Hogwarts, teach us something, please.
All right, I'm going to actually read it so you guys can like understand the words.
Yeah, that's all right. I can't sing like that and not laugh. So.
So it's Hogwarts, Hogwarts, Hoggy-Warty Hogwarts, teach us something, please. Whether we be old and bald or young with scabby knees, our heads could do with filling with some interesting stuff. For now they're bare and full of air, dead flies and bits of fluff. So teach us things worth knowing, bring back what we've forgot. Just do your best, we'll do the rest, and learn until our brains all rot.
So basically, you're dumb.
I'm so sad that they didn't do this. It would have been so cute. And I also like, a little side note, that the way that the school song is sung, Dumbledore says for everybody to pick their own tune and sing it at their own pace.
Well, and the twins.
The twins like do some
death march or something?
A funeral march.
Like a funeral march? Yeah,
so it's
funeral
very long, and like Dumbledore continues to conduct them all the way till the end. The school song apparently is not sung every year. Like in times of crisis, Dumbledore didn't include the song in the opening festivities. With the rise of Voldemort in the mid-90s, the song wasn't really sung anymore after the first year. But it's really neat. He just like flicks his wand and a ribbon comes out and floats in the air and creates the words for everybody to sing along to. And then everybody chooses their tune and they sing. And I think it's so cute.
I love it.
Yeah, I agree. I like
Insert our singing.
Hogwarts, Hogwarts, Hogwarts.
Teach me something, please.
Whether we be old and bald or young with scabby knees.
Oh my god.
Katie, it's your
Katie,
turn.
you totally missed the mark, man.
Eventually, Katie be like, our heads could do with filling with some interesting stuff.
Bingo.
Oh, goodness. Well, let's get into something else. Let's get into another MVP.
Oh yeah. Also
gosh.
excluded from the movies. So
They even cast him.
They did it.
Yeah,
They
they
just
did.
they didn't work. It didn't work out well.
Did they do,
They
like,
didn't
some
have the
kinda-
technology, I think, at that time. Whenever,
Yeah. Was CGI there? Was CGI around?
Yeah.
But it was
because
just
they did
really
it with
crummy.
the troll and everything. But I think
And they did
I
it
don't
with him
know.
crying on the broom. getting
Why
the-
could they do like the ghosts, but they couldn't handle a poltergeist?
Probably because I think Peeves is very instrumental in the
very,
books.
very animated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, so he would have been more involved.
Yeah.
And to do it right and do it well.
Were they just intimidated by it? Dear Christopher Columbus.
Well,
How did you sail the seven seas?
I find it annoying that they didn't put him in.
Yeah, he would have been great. If they wanted comic relief, you should have just kept
I would have
kept
loved.
Peeves.
I would have loved to see Peeves in Order of the Phoenix
Yes.
with Umbridge.
It's
Yes.
also interesting when you read, is it the third book where he drops the vanishing cabinet?
Yes.
And I'm like, oh my God, I completely forgot about
Shout
that.
out to Vanishing Cabinets.
They vanish all the hate away.
Pour one
Just
out,
kidding.
'cause it broke.
Pour one out for vanishing
They broke.
cabinets.
They broke.
Anyway, so when they're going back or they're getting taken to their common rooms, we meet Peeves, the poltergeist. And I thought it would be cool to talk about what a poltergeist is. So the word comes from German origin and it roughly translates to noisy ghost, which seems perfect. They're invisible, they can move objects, slam doors, create any other kind of disturbances. It's said that in many cultures that they're strongly associated with places where young people, especially adolescents, are living. So Joe says that it's inevitable that in a building bursting with all these teenage witches and wizards, a poltergeist would obviously be generated. And it's also expected that a poltergeist will be more noisy, more destructive, and harder to expel than any others living in a place with all this magic. So Peeves is actually the most notorious and troublesome poltergeist in British history.
What a title.
I know, right? And unlike many others of his kind, he has a physical form, so he can become invisible at will. He's also well named. I didn't know this, but he's named that because he's been the pet peeve of every caretaker Hogwarts has ever had.
Oh.
I like.
I don't know why I never made that
I know.
connection.
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, duh.
Yeah.
And I thought this was cute, that there has been a lot of attempts throughout history to try and get him out of the castle, but none of them have been successful. And the last attempt was in 1876 by the caretaker at the time. He devised this elaborate trap, and it involved like all these weapons and this enchanted jar that he would drop over Peeves. But not only did Peeves break out of it and escape with all these weapons, he held the castle hostage, and it was a 3-day standoff.
Wow.
And it only ended when the headmistress at the time signed a contract that said Peeves could have a once-weekly swim in the boys' toilet. He was allowed to have all the stale bread from the kitchens for throwing purposes, and he was gifted a new hat. I believe from France or something. But
Hilarious.
So funny.
so our buddy Peeves ignores all sorts of authority, except for the rare respect he has for a select few students, most notably Fred and George. And he's certainly afraid of the Bloody Baron. And it wasn't listed on the Pottermore article I read, but I believe he has a high respect for Dumbledore as well. But that's it.
Pour one out for Fred and Dumbledore. But not the
And the
Bloody
Bloody
Baron.
Baron, I guess,
No, he's a
right?
murderer.
No, he's nasty.
He killed the Grey Lady. I have a special place in my heart for her.
Do you?
Well,
she's
I
the,
like
she's
the
the
Bloody
ghost of
Baron.
Ravenclaw.
I know.
I said, well, I like the Bloody Baron.
You would.
Nearly headless.
Headless. Like this.
Ron says that, not Hermione.
Oh.
Another moment.
So weird.
In time.
All right, let's talk about common rooms.
Are they common? Let us know.
So we were talking about like how we all get into our common rooms, because if you haven't dived into your house on Pottermore
Do it.
or remember from the book, sometimes you might not know. So starting with Gryffindor, which everybody knows, Gryffindors have passwords that change to get into our common rooms. And the first one that we find is Cabot Draconis. So we were like, what the heck does that mean? So it means dragon's head. And it is an ancient name for the ascending lunar node, whatever that means. The point at which the orbit of the moon crosses the, what does that say? Ecliptic, which is the path the sun takes across the sky. This is an oversimplification, but it's basically the point at which the moon, the sun, and the earth are in the same place.
Isn't that an eclipse? Or is that just the moon and sun? I don't know. Okay, weird.
We just had one of
was
those.
thinking.
Shout out to eclipses everywhere.
Oh my God.
So yeah, passwords that changed, and Cabot Draconis is the first one.
So the Slytherin common room, I know that we don't learn this now, but we thought it would be cool to go over all of them so that everybody can know. So the Slytherin common room is a long, low-ceilinged dungeon-like room filled with skulls and the like. There are high-backed chairs and a carved mantelpiece on the fireplace. The walls are rough stone. The light is green
Evil.
is green from the hanging lamps because it is located under the lake, which I always thought was cool.
Yeah.
Our emblem is the serpent, the wisest of creatures. Our house colors are emerald green and silver, and our common room lies beneath a concealed entrance down in the dungeons. As you'll see, its windows actually look out into the depths of the Hogwarts lake, and we can often see the giant squid swooshing by, and sometimes more interesting creatures. We like to feel that our hangout has the aura of a mysterious underwater shipwreck.
You guys went into way more detail than I did.
I literally
Well-
just pulled it from Pottermore.
Everyone does super know the Gryffindor common room.
Exactly.
So
everybody
that's okay.
sees it.
Squashy
time.
armchairs.
And also, people really want to hear mostly about Ravenclaw.
We're just
how
trying to be
cool we are.
cozy. Nobody cares about
Does
you.
anybody remember what the password? Oh, it was pure blood. The password was pure blood.
So you guys have passwords too,
Yeah, ours is just a password to get in.
because we're dumb and can't come up with answers to riddles.
Now here comes the cool kids. Katie, you can go first.
Hufflepuff. So
Hufflepuffs is the coolest.
it's pretty awesome, and I didn't know a lot of this,
Okay.
which makes me feel horrible about myself. But
Well,
Well,
we're learning.
We didn't want to say
learning.
anything, so
Oh my gosh.
rude. So it's
it's
entered
no longer
from.
my favorite Hufflepuff.
Giggle,
I'll take
giggle.
a close second. It's entered from the same corridor as the Hogwarts kitchens, which is perfect for me because I love food. So if you go past the big fruit painting that's there, there's a large pile of barrels all stacked up. And the barrel 2 from the bottom, middle of the second row, opens if you tap to the rhythm of Helga Hufflepuff. And as a security device, if you tap the wrong barrel or tap the incorrect number of times, all the other barrels burst open and you're drenched in vinegar,
I
which
love
is
that.
disgusting. The actual common room is reminiscent of a badger's den, which is apparently those things are really big, and you can fit like 15 badgers in them or something crazy like that. I don't know. I
Badgers
looked it
are
up.
awesome.
They're amazing. It's all decorated in yellow and black. The wood is honey colored for the tables and the doors. There's colorful plants everywhere, and some of them wave to you when you walk by. And it's level with the ground, so if you were to look out the low windows, you could maybe see feet of people walking by. And even though the windows are very low, the room always feels sunny. Because I'm just a radiant little ball
I'm
of
just saying
sunshine.
that Neville would not have done well with that method of getting in.
No.
No.
He barely remembered the passwords to
I know.
Gryffindor.
He wouldn't have remembered which barrel to tap and to tap it the right way. He would have been drenched in vinegar daily.
The poor kid. Yeah. All right, so now we're moving on to house number 1, the coolest peeps around, Ravenclaw. So the common room is found at the top of Ravenclaw Tower, behind a door with an enchanted knocker. The arched windows set into the walls of our circular common room look down into the school grounds, the lake, the forbidden forest, the Quidditch pitch, and the herbology gardens. It's all the things you can see. This is the house with the best views and the cleverest witches and wizards. They live there, like me. Rowena Ravenclaw is the founder of the house, and the ghost of Ravenclaw is the Grey Lady, you found out later, is Rowena's daughter. All of the other houses have a concealed entrance, but us Ravenclaws don't need one because the entrance has a knocker, and once you knock on the door, it gives you a question or a riddle, and if you answer correctly, you are granted access to the common room. It has successfully kept everyone but Ravenclaws out for about 1,000 years, and it's not uncommon to find several students waiting to answer the riddle or question together. Our head of house is Flitwick, and I thought I'd ask you guys a riddle.
Oh,
So-
gosh.
What is easy to get into but hard to get out of?
Trouble.
Yes!
You just got access granted.
You guys, that's why. No, my second biggest percentage was Ravenclaw.
Nice.
I'll also say I have more riddles to ask, but I will do it during the...
Lightning bolt.
Lightning
Correct.
round. All right. I kind of want to read more about my house after,
You can go for it if you want.
because I feel like I only did my password.
You can go
I
ahead.
didn't do like the location.
That's because we're cooler than you. Ravenclaw for the win.
Hold on, I'm trying to find it. Somebody else talk.
While you look that up, I found something. I don't know if this was on all of the common room articles or not, but I found that it said the complexity or otherwise of the entrance to common rooms gives you a very rough idea of the intellectual reputation of each house. So Hufflepuff has the unchanging portal and requires rhythmic tapping. Slytherin and Gryffindor have doorways that challenge the would-be entrant. And about equally? Oh, because they both have passwords. So they both have an equal challenge to get into it.
Ooh, which if you think about goes back to Megan talking about how they're very similar. So interesting that how to get into their common rooms are very similar. Well, I mean, it's the exact same thing, essentially.
Yeah.
It says that
Connections.
the former, so Slytherin has an almost imperceptible hidden entrance and a varying password, while Gryffindor has a guardian and a frequently changing password. And Ravenclaws always need to I'm sorry, I can't talk. I'm like Sarah.
It's okay.
Because I'm talking about Ravenclaw. The Ravenclaw common room presents a fresh intellectual or philosophical challenge every time a person knocks on it.
I like that.
That was kind of cool. That
Yeah, I like that a
is-
lot.
even the way to get in represents the house itself.
Yeah.
Why can't I find my common room stuff? I keep finding like behind the scenes of creating.
If
the
you go
Gryffindor
to
common room.
your Pottermore account yourself,
Just like your page.
My profile,
and
okay.
yes, and so click on your profile, and then you can click on like learn about my house, I believe. Because
More about my house.
correct.
Okay.
And then, so anybody, if you want to do this, you go to your Pottermore, click onto your account, click onto your Hogwarts house, learn more about my house, and you go down, and there's like stuff you can read. So this is like underneath it tells me, for mine, because I'm a Ravenclaw, it tells me all about Ravenclaws. It talks about who my head of the house, not head of house, my prefect, and all of that.
So you scroll down and your prefect says, "Hey," like your welcome message.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm looking at that.
I think
Hello,
that's where it
Percy.
I could be lying.
So mine just says, quite simply, this is the best house at Hogwarts. It's where the bravest and boldest end up. For instance,
Oh, yeah.
Albus Dumbledore. Yes, Dumbledore himself, the greatest wizard of our time, was a Gryffindor. If that's not enough for you, I don't know what is. Suck it.
Okay. I have Luna's in my house.
But where you guys got like information about like
I don't think that she really describes the Gryffindor one
Yeah.
because she describes it so
Yeah.
many times in the book.
it's garbage.
Well, I'm sorry.
It's in a tower.
You
All right.
guys get everything else.
We have the fat lady.
I have books.
Just with my voice.
All right. So now I'm going to talk about Harry's dream that he had at the end of the chapter.
Dream.
So Harry thinks that he ate too much at the feast, which is probably true because he probably the most food he's seen in his entire 11 years.
Straight up.
And so he goes to sleep once his head hits the pillow. And he has this dream that he was wearing Professor Quirrell's turban, which kept talking to him and telling him to transfer to Slytherin. And then Malfoy was in his dream, I think taunting him, and even Malfoy turns into Snape in the dream. It's very interesting. And it's interesting that the turban is talking to Harry when we now know that Voldemort is on the back of Quirrell's head, probably talking to Quirrell. And it's interesting to think, like, once you see in the later books with Harry seeing more inside Voldemort's head, kind of thing, like, is that something that's happening? Is it like, or is it just happened to be a dream where, like, thought maybe the Horcrux in him knows, like, oh, there's a little piece of Voldemort over there, and like you're a little bit connected. You know what I mean?
A Voldy bit, if you will.
And so Malfoy turns into Snape, and Harry sees a green light. So we also now know that when his parents died and Voldemort tried to kill Harry, so that's where the green light comes in, that Snape was there that night, and he came and he saw, like, Lily, and he saw Harry, and he was crying and all that other stuff. And then it's interesting that he doesn't remember the dream the next day, but it's so, rereading it, I'm like so interested to see, like, the bits and pieces were like, oh my gosh, like that's connecting to so many other bits later on, including in the 7th book. And nobody has anything to say.
That's
No,
why we
I thought
love
that
this.
was really cool. I think that to have such an odd dream that he doesn't even remember tie into so many things. It's just JK's genius.
Well, and again, you don't know 90% of all of that information. So it's just something to put in there, and like a little Easter egg for when you go back and do a reread and be like, oh my goodness, like all of this stuff happened. It's all connected. It's so good.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy.
Yep.
Alrighty. So let's go into our lightning bolt round, and
what were we gonna do? We had one. We said we were gonna do it.
I don't remember.
I think we did it during it.
No, we didn't. Oh, it was about. Shoot.
I don't know.
About Snape.
We
asked that.
We asked that.
There
If
was
we all
something
like
else.
Oh, I don't know.
We'll think about it, and I've got I actually prepared a couple of questions, but I wrote by this in the doc. Once again, my questions are secret. Get your own. So, does anybody want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
You can go first.
for it.
All right, I have two. So, my first one is: if you could be in another house, what would it be?
Probably Slytherin.
Probably Gryffindor.
I like Slytherin.
Oh my God.
You have to answer.
I would not be in another house.
You would not be magical?
I would
Bye.
just be Slytherin.
What are you at
come on.
Ilvermorny?
Gryffindor.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
I guess.
Tiffany's like, you're not
If
invited.
you're making me choose, I guess Gryffindor.
All right. I would do Ravenclaw.
Yeah, you would.
All right, and then or someone else can do it. I can come back to it. My other question.
My question for you is, if you, like, say you were a Hufflepuff, right?
Okay.
What, instead of vinegar, people trying to get in, what would you want to come out of there?
Milk.
Okay.
Wine.
Ooh.
Maple
No, aren't we
syrup.
supposed to be? We're deterring people. You want people to be
Correct.
like wine?
Yes, because I'm thinking, I'm like, Megan would purposely every day be
She'd
like,
get it-
I gotta
she'd
get in
tap
my
the
common
wrong
room,
barrel.
tapping it wrong, free drink.
Okay, dung bombs.
Ooh.
What do you think?
I said maple syrup. It'd be
Ooh.
all
Oh gosh, yeah.
what
Well,
would I want?
Sarah, what would you do?
I have another one. When
Skunk spray.
Bubo tuber pus.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's gross.
That would be like
Scroots.
really bad though.
Oh man. Anybody else got a?
I'll ask some riddles, but you can ask your question first.
Do you have a question?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you could visit any other, I guess that kind of goes with yours though. If you could visit any other common room,
Well, mine would be different.
Mine would be too.
Yeah.
other than your own,
Right. So I would want to visit Slytherins because it's neat.
I would want to visit Hufflepuff. It just looks so homey.
Yeah.
I would
Seems
want to
so
visit
homey.
all of them. Is that an answer?
No.
No, I guess I'd either say Slither. Well, I'd say Slither.
I think it's so cool that like the windows look into the lake.
Yeah. That's what.
I really
And I
like the
wonder if
skulls.
any of the
you.
Slytherins knew about the mer people.
Oh,
Like, did they ever see,
I wonder
you
if they
know?
like chatted with them through the wall.
Yeah.
If they spoke Mermish.
Why is that weird for me? What do you mean?
because you can't even go into a pet store and go buy the fish tanks without thinking they're going to explode on you. So
I
why do you want to be in a
know.
common room and sleep next to essentially a gigantic fish tank?
I didn't think about that until just now, and it gives me serious anxiety. I never want to go in the Slytherin common room now.
Well,
You have to
She's
live there.
transferring.
are you gonna go to Ilvermorny?
No, I'm gonna be a hat stall and request Gryffindor. I'll stand it.
Oh, so now she loves Gryffindor.
So where are you gonna go, Katie? Where are you gonna visit?
I would, at this moment, I might say Ravenclaw because it said that they have the best view, and I would like to see.
Yeah, I feel like nobody wants to go to Gryffindor because we all know what it's like.
Are you ready? I have a riddle.
Okay.
Oh, I'm bad at these.
Okay, this
That's
is
why
a
I'm in
longer
Hufflepuff.
one.
No.
What are you saying?
No, it's telling
Oh,
Katie.
masks I wear many, but not many see behind them. Always rejected, except by those dark as the one I despise. I hate and I fear one of whom I will not speak. Yet I throw myself continually at his feet. I am continual. When all other hope is gone, I remain. Those I defend, I do not love, and those I fight, I cannot hate. The one who hates me most is the one who I will die to protect. Who am I?
That's a lot of information to take in, and
I will say the last 4 lines is like yes.
Did you answer this yourself?
Hell no.
You'd be sleeping in the hallway.
Yep. I'll be waiting
Read-
for those 20 other students to come and help me out.
Read the last 4 lines for me that you said we're telling.
Those I defend, I do not love. And those I fight, I cannot hate. The one who hates me most is the one I will die to protect.
Yourself.
Who am I?
You.
No, I didn't make this up.
No, like
The
yourself.
general
No.
you.
Damn.
It's a person.
Oh.
Is it like someone in Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Correct. These are Harry
Oh.
Potter ones. Oh, I'm sorry. These are Harry Potter riddles.
Harry.
No.
Voldemort.
No. Would you like me to tell you?
Yes.
Snape.
Oh.
Oh. Oh. Let me give you
I have
a
one.
short one. Okay.
Yeah, go.
Nitwit, blubber, oddment, or tweak. What's your favorite word from his little speech?
Nitwit.
Advent.
Mine was nitwit.
I like oddment.
Yeah.
It's a weird word. It's an odd word.
What do you call a coughing Quidditch commentator?
Coughing. Quidditch.
Lee Jordan.
Commentator.
Well, it's close. There's one word in there. A coughing Quidditch commentator. Weasley.
Oh,
But
jeez. Go ahead. You got another more?
What does Harry have that Voldemort doesn't?
A scar.
a nose.
Yep.
See, you got one.
Being sarcastic, though, I didn't think it was the answer.
What do you call a gorilla that plays with clay?
Is this Harry Potter related?
What?
A gorilla that plays with clay. A Harry Potter.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
gosh.
Oh, good. So funny.
These are like not real. They're like jokes.
Yeah. It's a long one.
Do you want me to do my other one?
Yeah.
All right. I said, if you could be BFFs with someone other than the people in the Golden Trio, who would it be?
Neville.
Yeah, I thought Neville.
Luna.
Oh.
But she's not there yet. We don't know who she is because she's not even at Hogwarts.
Does that matter?
She said anyone.
I said anyone.
I guess that's true. Myself.
What a Sarah thing to say. I know they're not. I'm going to go with George.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not
Why
Fred.
not Fred?
Because he died.
Not funny.
No, I had to pick one, and he's holy, so.
Okay. I have
Out of
another
all
question.
your related humor, you go with "I'm holy."
All right. I don't believe in wands or in the Quidditch World Cup, and this is the last time I'll say this. Shut that ruddy bird up. Who am I?
A ruddy bird.
Vernon.
Yep.
Ruddy bird.
Do you want me to read you another one?
Sure.
This
One
one's
more.
super easy. I wear glasses and pigtails, and a Hogwarts toilet is now my bed.
Oh,
And I-
Myrtle.
Yeah. I mean, it's super easy.
Moaning metal.
Let me think if I have any other questions. Ooh, I do. If you could have one thing at that feast, what would you eat? Or bring something to it. Like, oh, I really want.
Yorkshire pudding.
I want a ribeye.
Yeah.
I want a big fat ribeye.
Yeah.
I
You
want
know
to
what?
try the roast beef.
You know what I'd want?
Yeah.
My dad's stuffing.
Ooh.
That would be some delicious.
Shout out to the Terror Bear.
I would want some pizza
Really?
Also on pizza.
made by the house elves.
Want
I
them
bet
to
a
slave
Hogwarts-
away over it.
Hogwarts pizza would probably be
I would
amazing.
The pizza.
I would
pizza is
travel
of
to
all pizzas.
Hogwarts with Lucci's Pizza and eat Lucci's Pizza.
Oh, so good.
I wonder if
Shout
they,
out
like,
to John and Lucci's. Anybody that lives in the area by Kent, go get Lucci's Pizza.
Do
Just
you
saying.
think that if they were gonna make a pizza, that it would have like weird things on it?
No, I think it would be the Krusty Krab pizza.
The Krusty Krab pizza is the pizza for you and me.
Krusty Krab.
Oh my god! All right, I think we're done with the questions.
Yeah, we're getting a little silly.
All
Let's
right.
move on to our fan featured story of the week.
Can you guys help me with this last name? Because I'm
Hawkradle.
Okay, so Brandon Hawkradle.
Do you know him?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
He
I was like, wow, that
says-
was a really fast answer.
I know. I was like, I've been debating this. He says that his first experience was walking through the video store and seeing Harry Potter on the shelf. I was like, this is that
Video
generic
store.
I know, right?
Video killed the radio star.
I was like, quote, this is that generic Lord of the Rings knockoff that everyone loves, right? So I rented the movie and soon after made everyone I knew watch it because I loved it. Little did I know I had created a monster, made my sister Brittany watch it. She became obsessed. She read the books, made me read the books. Much better than the movies, I'll admit. Little winky face. She's got tattoos and wands and all kinds of nerd things that resulted in me making her watch the first movie. Moral of the story, you're welcome, sister. Stupefy.
Shout out to Brittany and Brandon.
Spreading all that Harry Potter love.
Yeah.
I have spread it to my younger siblings as well. So
My sister actually wants to read the.
I tried to
books
spread
now.
it, but my family was like, "We're not about that life."
My husband,
Doesn't know how to read.
so he will not read the books. He reads like news and stuff.
says.
And, like-
claims he knows how to read.
and like medical stuff. But he's watched the movies, so. I've
Everyone, well,
seeped in
besides
his
him
mind.
and my mom.
And he listens to this, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, my mom and him are the only ones I think that have not, or the only ones that haven't read him.
Yeah.
Bridget and Matt and my father.
It's not really their thing.
No, which is
And that's
fine.
okay.
Yeah, they just suffer through it with us.
Right.
We force it down their throats.
Exactly.
You're gonna watch it and you're gonna like it. Yeah.
Okay.
So make sure that you use our pinned post on Facebook to use for discussion on this episode. You can post questions, comments, concerns, etc., and anyone can respond and answer to the questions, and all four of us will be responding to you as well. So go find us on Facebook and like our page to get all the latest info. We are Swish and Flick Podcast on Facebook or Swish Flick Cast on Twitter, Instagram, and Tumblr. And if anyone wants any Swish and Flick swag, we have a store on TeePublic as well. So check out our store at teepublic.com/swishflickcast.
Yeah, and follow us on Twitter and Instagram and Tumblr and stuff. Like, we have a bunch of Facebook followers, but I'm not sure how many people are like using Twitter and stuff. But we do have Twitters and Instagram, so go follow us,
Yeah.
please.
And also, like we said in the last episode, if you have a funny story that relates to Harry Potter, we want to hear it.
That's
or
true.
even just a whatever story. It could be funny, sad, happy.
Any
Good
connection
lucky.
with Potter?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
It doesn't
definitely
have to
share
just be your Harry Potter story. It could be like, no, what I'm saying, like the Harry Potter,
Reach out
like
to us.
how you first got into it. It could be
Yeah.
anything. It could be something that happened to you yesterday.
Maybe going to
something
the
that happens in the
midnight
future.
premieres or book releases, anything like that.
We
yeah.
want to know
True.
and
Oh,
thank
yeah.
you all for
your ears.
for your ears, for your follows, for your comments.
Yeah.
Yeah, we appreciate everything.
You guys, we check. Did we tell them we hit all 50 states?
No.
Yeah.
We've officially hit all 50 states and downloads.
And we have a bunch of different countries.
Yes,
Alaska.
like
You were
crazy.
the last?
Alaska was the last, so thank you for
crazy
downloading
countries
us.
that like I didn't even know existed, which
Yeah.
is really cool.
Yeah.
So
We love it. We love seeing that.
I
Yeah.
love going to check to see like where we're being downloaded. It just like makes my day.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So keep
Someone-
listening. Keep giving us tips, tricks.
And we're really
Fun
popular
things.
in the UK, so shout out to all the UK listeners.
Yes.
We love you guys.
Yeah.
If you want us to come visit us, pay for it.
If you
and
want
we will.
us to come visit us.
If you want us to come visit you,
Oh, goodness.
buy me a
would
plane
love
ticket.
a
I
place
want to
to
go
stay.
to UK. Well, I've been to the UK because I've been to Northern Ireland, but I want to go to England and Scotland a lot.
Same.
All right.
And I
We're
wouldn't
gonna-
oppose going back to Ireland.
We're
so,
gonna make it happen sometime.
hopefully.
Sometime. Okay. Thank you so much for listening, and don't let the muggles get you down.
Amazing! Just my voice. I won't talk to anyone. I'll be upstairs pretending I don't exist. Are we going to sing the whole podcast? I'll be perpetually single after that.
Well,
No huffs for this.